Up, everybody? Bootsy Greenwood here, and I am happy to talk to you a little bit about the idea of the observer versus the participant today. I want to talk about these two different perspectives that we have of ourselves and how we can leverage our attention and energy in order to get to our goal with the least amount of effort. In Reality Transurfing, Vadim Zeland talks about the difference between being an observer and being a participant in our reality. When we're an observer, we have more leverage, more awareness. Our ability to perceive is heightened, and we're standing almost above what is happening around us. There's something in quantum physics called the observer effect. And in the observer effect, what we found is that scientists actively influence the outcome or being more at the effect, then it's like things are just happening to us. When we're walking through reality and we feel and just immediately go into whatever emotion that we're having, we don't have a buffer between our experience and our action. What we want to actively create is space between stimulus and response. And so we want to be at the cause of whatever it is that's happening to us as opposed to the effect. We want to create space between stimulus and response. The stimulus that happens to us might immediately trigger us into a reaction. And when that happens, we're actually giving our energy away to what we call a pendulum or an energetic informational structure. Now, all of a sudden, we're not working in our own best interest. We're working at the interest of whatever it was that influenced us, that triggered us to make us act in that particular way. When we flip the script and come at the observer frame, now all of a sudden, we are in control of how we respond and how we react in reality. And the more that we're in control of how we respond and how we react in our reality, the more of our energy that we keep. The more of our energy that we keep, the more that we can actively use that to elevate our position in reality in order to get closer and closer and closer to our goal, what it is that we want to be and see in the world. Our higher self is aware and observing that which we are experiencing in the world, while the participant is simply going on autopilot. The participant might be goaded into taking actions that aren't in our own best interest. That part we could call our lower self. When we are able to focus and see a situation from a wider perspective, it opens up pathways, it opens up options that we wouldn't otherwise see if we were simply the participant in that scenario. So what we actively want to do is to become aware and to create a space between stimulus and response. If you've ever been hanging out with some kids and someone will, make a movement and try to get you to flinch, you're seeing who's at the cause and who's at the effect in a very simple way. Like someone might go like that, and then if you do like that, well, that makes you kind of at the effect of their thing. Whereas if they do like this and then you just don't even budge, well, you're farther into the observer frame. And so very many of us are kind of battling it out in the way that we perceive the world versus the other people who are around us. And instead of doing that, we can actively just begin to create and cultivate a space between what happens, what actions are influencing us, what the stimulus is, and then how we're actively responding to that in real time. So if there's people walking on the bridge and I'm trying to make a video, for instance, then if I'm at the participant level, then I would shut down and then immediately just shift my energy into what it is that they think, what it is that they feel, what it is that they're experiencing, as opposed to just holding on to my perspective and sharing the information that can benefit you by understanding this concept of the observer versus the participant. The observer is us. The participant is us. We want to be simultaneously the observer and the participant, and we can shift our awareness between those two poles. what we want to be able to do ideally is to focus on both, to be able to feel the feelings, to be able to experience the world, and have that deep level of connection with whatever scenario, whatever circumstances we find ourselves in, while actively being able to see it from an objective perspective. So we want to be the observer, the objective, and the participant, the subjective, at the same time. And the more that we can use our attention to be able to experience both of those and carve out a little bit of space between stimulus and response, the more impact we can have on reality and the more we can actively work towards our own goals. If that makes sense to you, if you want to get a little bit more information and connect with some people who are actively practicing this, get some exercises and some connection in a community form, I want to invite you to come over to my school group, which is free right now, where we are actively studying this stuff, helping each other attain our goals and dreams, and supporting one another in that process. Thanks so much for watching this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
That's really good.